Please welcome to the podium President Donald V. DeRosa, one of the three great presidents of the last 150 years of Pacific.
Thank you. Thank you all. When there's a video being put together, for one, you should learn to have more control over those pictures that are taken of you taken at an earlier time in your life. It certainly allows you to learn and see how much more hair you had when you were 18 years old. I want to extend my thanks to the Board of Regents and the university community for honoring me with the Order of Pacific and also inviting me to be the commencement speaker today. And I want to extend my personal welcome to all Pacific graduates, their parents, friends, and members of the university community, and offer my congratulations especially to the class of 2009. You've reached a unique milestone in your life, having achieved educational goals that will open the door to new opportunities that await you. I have also reached a unique landmark in my own life, the conclusion of my 14-year presidency here at Pacific. In a sense, that makes me a part of the class of 2009. It's just taken me a lot longer to get here. Together, we'll soon go out from Pacific with new goals and new horizons, but we will always be bonded by the experiences here that have shaped our lives. Your being here today signifies that you have earned your degree, you have mastered a body of knowledge, skills, and specialization in an academic discipline. But your Pacific experience has been much more than that. During your years here, much has been invested in helping you develop personal qualities that will enable you to be successful in career endeavors and develop positive working relationships with others. Your whole person education at Pacific has led to a deeper understanding of yourself, your life purpose, and your calling. Your college years have also been critically important in the development of values that will guide you as you make decisions and choices throughout your life, your attitudes towards others, and your approach to lifelong learning. Many of us would say that our values were predominantly shaped by our parents and other role models, people who had a significant influence on us at home, at school, in church, and at the university. Today, I'd like to talk with you about how my own values were influenced by those close to me, my upbringing, by my reading, and reading about, in particular, inspirational role models. My hope is that you will think about how your own values have been shaped and how they will come to develop in the future. My mother and father were key influences, and from an early age instilled in me an appreciation for American values. They were born in the United States, but raised in their early years in Italy. My now 101 and a half, you count in half years when you reach that point, just as you did 5 and a half, 6 and a half. My 100 and a half-year-old mom returned to this country when she was 10 years old during World War I, and my father at age 16. They both came back to the United States unable to speak English. My father had been given the choice of remaining in Italy or coming to the United States because his father could no longer afford to send him to school. In Italy at the time, education past the 8th grade was at personal expense. He made the brave choice. For a 16-year-old, he left and came to this country. But he believed there would be greater opportunities here for him, for his children, and for his children's children. I remember him telling me about the emotional feeling he had when his ship arrived in New York Harbor and he first saw the Statue of Liberty. When I was a young boy, our family would take the nickel ferry from Battery Park in New York out to Staten Island to see relatives. And every time we made that trip, my father would get misty-eyed when he would look out at the lady, as he called her. He would say, "Don, this is a great country where you can be anything you want to be." He said you can even be president. He didn't have in mind a university president, but this wasn't bad. I don't think I had much of an understanding of what he was talking about back then. My father was indeed extremely patriotic. He believed in this country and our national values. I grew up in Eastchester, New York, 20 miles north of New York City, a place with many working-class families. My parents, when they came to this country, experienced some discrimination, which was common for Italian Americans at the time, especially on the East Coast. My mother tells stories about it, but my sister and I never heard our parents speak negatively about any race, religion, or any group. As an adult, I came to realize how important that was in shaping my own feelings about cultural, ethnic, and American identity. To be discriminated against, but not discriminate against others, became a powerful message for me. But I also learned that my parents valued their American identity more than anything else. You know, I used to think my father was sometimes corny, and I'd like to give you an example of that. We would listen, in part because we couldn't afford a TV, or maybe baseball games weren't even on TV at that time, but we'd listen to the New York Yankee games. And at that time, there were many fewer commercials, and you'd actually hear the playing of the national anthem. And here I was, a small boy, and my father would ask me to rise for the playing of the national anthem in our living room, in our home, just the two of us standing there. Yes, I thought it was corny, maybe hokey. I think your generation might call it cheesy. But really, that was a great pride in this country, and a pride that he was an American citizen. He voted in every election. He was involved in politics, participating in voter drives. I think this is how he understood his civic responsibility, but more than anything else, he believed in his American values. I don't think we talk enough about our national values today, or if we do, we approach the subject historically. Our country's earliest settlers came to establish a society that was free from class structures that existed in Europe. In writing our Constitution, the founders worked to ensure that an aristocracy could never come to power, that no one would be forced to practice a particular religion, and there would be a climate of freedom with an emphasis on the individual and equality of opportunity. What drew earlier generations of Americans to this country then still draws them today. Immigrants have been attracted to the United States because they believe they have a better chance here for success, and in particular, economic success. They came here believing that opportunity would not be limited by the social class they were born into. And through their personal effort, they could achieve their dreams. I know that's what my parents believed. They always emphasized that through education and opportunities available in this country, I could be anything I wanted to be. I thank my mother for instilling in me the value of education. If you saw that 18-year-old picture, she worked hard at it, I'll tell you that. Today I try to share this message with young people, high school students, or even younger children. They tour this campus, and I stop and visit with them. And I say that if I, as a first-generation college student, coming from a family with limited resources, could become a university president, they too, through education, can achieve any goal they set for themselves. This country makes that possible.